where it's at. Yeah.
Next up, Indy 31, Tennessee 28. Yikes. This is actually a good game, apparently. That's how bad the week was. Gardner, 312 yards passing with 2 touchdowns, lost a fumble to slightly hurt his stat line. It was still probably top 10 on the week. Will Levis, 224 and 1 with a fumble loss. A lot of fumbles. Must have been a lot of bad weather. Zach Moss, 19 for 51, 2 for 6 through the air. Was not as good as he's been, but Tennessee's not too bad against the run. Derrick Henry, 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good God, that's got to be his best game of the season. Left with a concussion, Tyjae Spears stepped in. They had a lot of carries here, 37 total carries combined. 75 yards for Spears, 4 for 13 through the air. Michael Pittman was good, 11 on 16 targets for 105 and 1. Pierce had 3 for 100 with a long touchdown to make him usable. Downs 3 for 14. D-Hop had 5 for 75 and a touchdown, and no other receiver was really useful. We had 2 decent tight ends, by tight end standards, I guess. Kylan Granson has 3 for 72. Chigo Okonkwo had 3 for 62. Kickers, Matt Gay was good. He was 4 for 4 on field goals and 1 for 1 on extra points. Nick Folk was salvageable, but not great. 2 for 2 on field goals and 2 for 3 on extra points. Colts got you 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, a touchdown, a block, and a 4th down stop, and they were my other streamer. I can tell right now because I remember seeing that touchdown and going, doesn't matter how many points they give up. I broke my number on 8 either way. And the Titans went under that number. They had 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 2 recoveries. What are your thoughts on this one? There's a lot of spread out production here, with the exception of 1 or 2 people. There's a lot of touchdowns here that made a lot of good stat lines.
Yeah, it's not. You see the plays ran. There was 85 on one side and 71 on the other. When you're getting above 70 for both teams, it's good for fantasy. Like, that's what we like to see. These quarterbacks are turnover worthy. Like, they'll make mistakes and they'll also be able to support offenses. So it's kind of the ideal game script where both teams get a lot of production everywhere, and that's where you see it. Where like D-Hop, Pittman, they did their thing. Both running backs actually did good for Tennessee. So like, yeah, if Henry's out, Spears is going to be like a guy everybody's going to want to target. He's going to be really good. And it was just a rough matchup for Moss. We were really bullish, and I wouldn't worry about it too much. They get Cincy and Pittsburgh the next 2 weeks, so I kind of expect that to regress positively for him. And yeah, overall, it's just like, this is the ideal game where you're like, okay, even the Colts got there with defensive fantasy and the kickers. It's like, it's perfect. It's the exact opposite of what we saw last couple of games.
Yeah, no one you would have started really killed you. Like, Moss didn't kill you, but he wasn't great. You weren't starting Levis. How about here? Josh Downs, if you had to desperation start him, he killed you, but I don't know if he was started all that much. Pretty much everyone else that was started was startable. We really didn't, like I said, Downs was the only disappointing one in Moss, but Moss didn't kill you. He was just not great. He was average. So
yeah, it was weird. Like, Percy hasn't done like anything. He showed up.
Minshew's been a good streamer. Cincy, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Vegas. That's a very favorable schedule. Even Pittsburgh. I didn't think Pittsburgh was a great matchup, but they look like a pretty easy matchup for Kyler yesterday. So
yeah, same thing with Cincy. Their defense is kind of falling apart. Like, he should be fine.